Hello YouTube and welcome to GrunfWorks. This is episode 11 of the Interplanetary Voyage of Exploration, and today we will be making the first landing on another planetary body. And for that mission we have chosen to go to Minmus. The data as obtained by the science probes from both the gravity scanners and the ScanSat have revealed that the Minmus is in fact much more hospitable and easy to land on than the Moon. The only complexity of it being really to have them match the orbital planes. However, here you can see me building a craft capable of landing to Minmus. And as I do in every of my videos, I clearly over-engineer it, but I guess that's the Kerbal way, so we don't really need to be as efficient as we need to be, effective. So, we need to be able to get there. So, I'm now basically building the lander stage, so the stage that will actually land on Minmus, and given that I'm using one LV-909, I think it's more than enough thrust of weight to be landing and taking off of Minmus. I could have maybe gone with another one with the other engine, but I found this one to be quite sufficient for my needs, so why the hell not. Also, I'm attaching 3 parachutes, one on the top and 2 radially. I guess I haven't yet unlocked radial chutes, but this is just something that I'm living with until I actually unlock the radial chutes. And besides, Squad has enabled this option per se, so it's not exactly a cheat, not at least from my perspective. So now I'm attaching some batteries, some solar panels, and normally I opt for the solar panels above, but given the fact that I'm putting a lot of science stuff up and I don't want to risk when I come down eventually that stuff goes down, I don't want to risk it, so I'm just putting science stuff up. And hereby I have also made that I would be using landing, basically struts as landing legs. Clearly, when I was engineering this is all as post-commentary, I didn't think about the fact that I have put this on the radial decouplers, so meaning that if I ever decide to stage this, then I would be losing my landing legs. Especially that would be the case when I go back from Minmus to Kerman. So I would be landing on my engine bell, which is not the smartest choice given that all my solar panels and everything is at the bottom. But then again, when we come to the Kerman, well, I guess we don't have to care that much if we lose a solar panel or 2. But then again, some bad design decisions on my part to start with. So this is more or less Minmus lander, as you can see it. I'm clearly will prioritize in my next to unlock some landing legs, because this is just silly. And I'm trying to cram as much science as I possibly can to basically harvest the Minmus for all the precious science that it has. And now I'm building the transfer stage, containing of 2 big fuel tanks and 1 KW rocketry engine, which I think gives it a very nice thrust weight. And I will be adding 6 in total of the same more or less fuel tanks and everything, and I'll put them on asparagus staging because I haven't yet unlocked a more powerful one. Alright, so now it's time to do the asparagus staging. I mean, if you don't know what asparagus staging is, basically meaning that from the outermost tanks fuel flows towards the inner, and then towards the inner until it finally drops in the center stage. But during the whole time, all of the engines are boosting. So in real life, that's really not that frequent. I think it was only Ariane rocket that was using, or another one that was using asparagus staging. So as the whole fuel pumping process is quite complex, and so I mean, this is an interesting choice of design, but when I unlock bigger tanks, I'll probably opt for the 2 boosters on the side and just the big fuel tank. And also I don't have that powerful enough rocket engines to be able to lift those babies up. I mean, the best I could go is, I think, go for Skipper, which is not really capable of lifting stuff out of the orbit. So I'll probably need to, I'll need to unlock like mainsails and, oh well, maybe Skipper is. I might be mistaken. I was thinking of another 2.5 meter. Was it Guppy or something? I don't know exactly all the names. I have to learn them eventually because 1.0 has now hit and everything has its own. And for the mission we will have G. Kerman, who will be piloting the craft all the way to Minmus. So now we have, in the Kerbal construction time, we have started to build our lander. I feel pretty confident about the design. Normally I would go and test it, but I just thought, given the length and everything of this mission, we should just go for it, and I've designed similar landers many times over, so I feel pretty confident about the design, so that's why I decided to ditch the simulation. I will for sure use simulation for more experimental craft that I will be playing. So, rolling the craft out. Alright, and then we are ready for launch. So let us go, launch, and no, Jeb, you are not going here. Juno is going today. So let us go for launch. Now, SAS on, throttle to max, and we have some, I'm thinking maybe magnetometer scan. Let us collect all data and toggle auto collect, so we can collect some magnetometer scan. So, the material study I want to keep. Magnetometer is properly calibrated and records Kerbin surface level magnificent field. Okay, cool. Let's toggle it back, and the data is auto-collected. X-ray diffraction, I'm too far off the surface, and the material study I only have 2 modules, and those I will be keeping for Minmus low and Minmus surface. So, I'm showing the launch. You can see now asparagus staging at work. Nothing really weird about it, just basically me dancing the rocket a little bit front and back. As I'm ascending, going for somewhat, let's say, 100 kilometer apoapsis, and then I will be basically coasting until I get to the point where I can actually extend the orbit. So, now, let me see. So, characteristic plasma wave patterns confirm the presence of multiple Van Kerman radiation belts. Keep the data. That's RPWS. So now retracting the scanner. And we have an orbital insertion burn in 50 seconds with a burn time of 50 seconds, so I'll wait until this drops to say 40 and then I just hit the burn. Stage the engine, so the burn is prolonged a little bit, but this KW rocketry is quite powerful enough to be able to boost us to a decent orbit. So now I'm just kind of skipping a little bit the boring part, and I'm kind of showing you how am I aligning for the transfer orbit to Minmus. So I am basically tweaking the orbit and getting ready for the transfer burn. Some of the parts I might be skipping, some of the parts I might be accelerating, because some of the things they have already seen me do multiple times, so I'm just trying to focus on the new stuff. So I also slow down if I have some science to collect or something, basically read the logs, etc. Alright, we are aligning ourselves for the transfer burn. doesn't care. He is happy as a doorknob. He's just thrilled to be part of the expedition. Cool. Now let's see. 900-meter burn, and we have on this stage 1031, so we have more than enough to complete this on its own, hopefully. And I also remember that I didn't tweak the KW rockets so that they turn off instantly, so I have to be a little bit careful in terms of when I shut off the engine. This is something I will correct because it's not consistent with the rest of my KSP experience. So I'll probably in the updated save I will just basically change this setting. So okay, getting close, getting almost there, and just trying to line up a little bit. And now I'm fiddling, but let's see. Okay, I think we have a Minmus periapsis, so yep. Now I'm just trying to tweak it a little bit. Okay. Yeah, 1.4 doesn't matter. We'll tweak it when we get closer to Minmus. We have a total of 2.5 thousand delta V, which is more than enough. Plasma from the solar wind bombards Kerbin's magnetosphere, distorting and generating a pronounced bow shock. Radio wave patterns characteristics of this effect are recorded. Alright, that's deep. Let's toggle it. Alright, so this is like nice place for a screenshot. I have to still see if I'm gonna use it. Plenty of other screenshot opportunities though. And let us just warp towards our maneuver node. Oh, hold on, now what happened? It seems that from this maneuver node I no longer have a Minmus encounter. Wow, that's interesting. So I'm just tweaking my maneuver node to ensure that I do get a Minmus encounter after all. I mean, it's not a big burn, but still. We have to just make sure that we do intercept Minmus. Okay, we do, and okay, we get a nice low periapsis. That's something that I'm more than happy to live with. Alright, now we have a Minmus periapsis, so let's kill the maneuver node and let us go to the sphere of influence change. And we're in the Minmus sphere of influence, so we have some sweet science to collect. So yeah, here's Minmus. Hi Minmus, we're coming to you shortly. So let us see what do we have from the science. Radio plasma wave scan. Deploying. Minmus is alternately protected from and blasted by the solar wind as it moves in and out of Kerbin's magnetotail during its orbit. Okay, keep the data. Crew report. You note that the radio fails to transmit when set to the off position. Well, you had to go to Minmus to figure that out? Wow. Okay, EVA report. It looks so small and yet so delicious. Yes, it looks like a big ice cream fudge, so we'll definitely go today and taste it. And material study I will not make because I have only 2 of them, so I want to keep it for the low and the actual biome that we land on. So I don't need to revisit it later on. So now I'm just preparing the burn that will put us in the orbit around Minmus. And I'm gonna do a little bit of time warp as we close in on Minmus. Hi Minmus! Yes, here we are. So I'm getting ready for our burn, and let's burn. Our apoapsis is dropping and we are in orbit, so apoapsis and periapsis of 19 and apoapsis of 82. Okay, that's certainly good. So I'm now just trying to make it a nice circular orbit, and we are now in space low, I would guess, and we have a lot of science. So crew report. You wonder if it's possible to EVA to the surface and back. Well, from what I've heard other players, definitely it's possible, so I'm not sure if we will be trying that though. Magnetometer. Frozen ice cream doesn't emit a magnetic field, dummy. Yeah. Material study. The high radiation environment caused a few of the samples to glow. It looks like it would be fun to paint the rocket with this. Yeah, that would be fun to paint the rocket. So, telescope. Scattered boulders visible in this region suggest that they may be weathered remains of the large asteroid impact. RPWS. Weak radio wave emissions detected above Minmus. Strangely, they appear to originate from a point slightly over the moon's surface. Interesting. Keep the data. Orbital telescope from the Midlands, I guess. EV report. The mesmerizing aquamarine flats almost make you forget keep one hand on the ship's handle at all times. Well, that wouldn't be a good idea to let go of the ship. You'd tend to float apart from it. Orbital telescope and EVA. Yeah. So let us board the ship. And I think we're about ready to actually fast forward a little bit and get closer to the Minmus. EVA report and orbital telescope. With this telescope, it's like you're on the surface. Who needs landers? Yeah, we still kinda need them. So, sorry, we're going to the surface. EVA report. Yes, we already have seen this one, so I'm not gonna read it again. Bored anyway. Okay, so I think we can do a little bit of warping until either we get some more science. Oh, EVA. You are craving mint ice cream right about now. Well, who wouldn't be? When Minmus looks so delicious. Alright. Basically I would like to take this opportunity to announce that sometime by the 15th episode of the Interplanetary Voyage I will be hosting a small sweepstake, with the main prize being an actual KSP license for Steam. So I have one Steam gift of KSP, which I would like to put up for the sweepstakes. So in one of the future episodes, by the episode 15, I will pose a few questions, and The first person who gets them all right in the comments of the said episode will be eligible to get this Steam gift. So there you have it, and I will also announce it the moment I post that episode. It will be announced on Reddit, so in case you miss it here, you will get a chance to see it on Reddit, hopefully. So let us go with the EVA report. Yeah, this is the one we already read, so I'm not sure yet which, because I'm still trying to form some interesting questions. I may make no mistake, they won't be easy, but they will be tied to my series. So if you have watched some of my videos, you will have a chance to pretty easily answer them. So now we are warping to a nice suitable location where we can do our burn. Oh, gravity scan. Passing over the surface of Minmus of the sensor sweeps across the gravitational field. Cool. Thermal emissions from this flatlands indicate a very cold surface. Sure. You don't see what's so great about this flatlands. They are merely adequate. EVA report. If the spaceship fails, you could probably use the jetpack to get back into the orbit. Well, why are they so hung up on using our jetpack to get to the orbit? I mean, yeah, it's possible. Yeah, it would be fun to try. But then again, we would need to rescue somebody from the Minmus. So, I mean, it's nice to know that we have definitely such a possibility. However, I plan to use it as a last resort kind of thing. Not exactly the first choice now. Okay, and now we are performing our burn to make sure that we land on... I think I have chosen the area, one of the flatlands, I think it's larger flats or something. And here we're just trying to see how much delta V will I actually need to be able to stop. By the way, I'm using the mod, I think it's called Astronomer's Visual Pack Beta, that slightly enhances. I think there will be some fog on the lakes, just in case you were wondering which mod was that. So first let's get the EVA. You need to do something about the lack of snacks here. Gravity. Passing over the surface of Minmus sensor sweeps across the gravitational field. Yeah, sure. Broad spectrum analysis conducted and orbital. Yeah, I'm speeding through this a little bit because I'm going down pretty quickly and I'm just making sure to prepare for everything. So 132 meters per second roughly, just coming closer and closer, and now we can slowly see the clouds just above the Minmus flats. That's the part of this Astronomer Visual Pack Beta. Like I said, I was trying to install Interstellar, but it's just a memory hog, and then I would have to ditch a lot of the mods that I like and enjoy, so yeah, I decided not to go for the... I may feature Interstellar in maybe some of my future series, because I really like, or alternatively Renaissance Spec. Let me know in the comments which one you think is better, because I will be obviously taking suggestions, but you can admit that these clouds and this fog lifting up looks pretty cool. So, retracting the solar panels as we are descending towards the surface of Minmus. Yeah, we are on the greater flats where we will be landing. A little bit of time acceleration. I think I'm using like 2 times, just to make it not too slow or too tedious for you guys. Alright. Slowly decreasing our velocity, vertical velocity. 10 meters or 15 meters per second, and now I'm starting to look to find my shadow. I'm in 300 meters out, so we can already see the surface. Ah, there's our shadow. Okay, and now just to make sure that we descend as gently as possible. I mean, these girders can take some punishment, but still, why do it if we really don't need to? Like 10 meters, passing now, and now just slowly, and we're there. Oh boy, how much science. Now let us see what we got here. So, oh, and I think this will be a great shot for an actual screenshot for the episode. Yeah, definitely. Crew report. The ground here is completely flat. It's really boring. I disagree. Gravity scan. Despite assurances from mission planners that the readings here would be off the charts, the sensor refuses to register anything higher than a rather weak gravity. Well, we'll try it out. We'll definitely go out and see what happens. Magnetometer scan. Just so it deploys. Even Minmus milty-looking frozen surface is magnetically dead. Well, that's useful info, I guess. Material study. Some of the biological samples have not fared well. The metals, however, appear to be doing just fine. Glad to hear that at least they are fine. Let's see. Mystery goo? What does goo have to say about it? The goo flops out of the container and becomes indistinguishable from the surface. Could it be that the goo originates from Minmus, perhaps? The seismometer detects some minor quakes and what sounds like bubbling. Perhaps there is areas of resurfaced by occasional geological activity. Yeah. Keep the data. Temperature. The temperature reading suggests that this area might be made of ice cream. Acquiring a surface sample is highly recommended. Yeah, definitely. X-ray diffraction scan. Let's see what that one says. The green coloration is here due to the mixture of some chlorate minerals and genius divine silicates, a sign that these flats may be remains of some ancient volcanic activity. Oh, so it's not made of mint ice cream. I'm disappointed. EVA report. You need to do something about the lack of snacks here. Yeah, well, clearly we cannot chew on the Minmus surface, obviously. What can you do? Let us just quickly board to store everything, and then let us go for the EVA report. Just go a little bit back, shall we? Oh! Ow, 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 ow. Yeah. Alright, do you know? Yeah, walk like an Egyptian back, huh? Alright. So, hey, Uno. Are you happy? You're on Minmus now. Yeah, he's happy. Surface sample. The sample consists of multiple layers of very reflective greenish ice. You wonder what compound gives it such a nice color. EVA, as you exit your craft, you utter the words, "It's one small step for Kerbals, one giant leap for Kerbal kind." Well, to me it looked like it was more like a one giant tumble for the Kerbal kind when we got out and flat almost on our face. Still, let us proudly plant the flag of GrunfWorks. So, congratulations, you have just become the first Kerbal who has officially landed on another planetary body. Oh, yeah, you're really, really happy. Cool. Now, well, no time to waste. Time to go back home now. Let's go in and let us punch it. Yeah. So, magnetometer, just retracting the magnetometer boom. Okay. Adding a maneuver node that will hopefully bring us back into the Minmus orbit and then eventually home back to Kerman. So, extending the solar panels, just with that we don't run out of electricity, that would be just silly. Okay, and coming up on the burn. Cool. And we are in orbit around Minmus. So, time to plan the return to Kerman. Let me see. Kerman periapsis, put it somewhere around 20-ish. Cool. Sounds pretty good to me. and estimated burn time 20 seconds, and I just decided to fast forward until I get very close to Kerman to show the re-entry, because we're already closing towards the end of the episode, time-wise. So now we are close on re-entering. Basically showing the re-entry, and we are basically hitting the atmosphere right about now. So I'm closing the or Juno is closing the solar panels, and we have decided to arm the chutes so that basically we are sure that they trigger once we're low enough. And you will notice that I have not staged the 3 fuel tanks, which make this craft a little bit less stable. However, I found it to be well worth it, given the fact that we would be landing on them and maybe not destroying the engine or more. So, and we had plenty of Delta V, because this craft was, as I said, clearly over-engineered. So I'm just kind of hoping that I will be able to land on the deserts biome. I think the Jeb already landed on the desert biome, but I don't think that we have really collected all of the data from the desert, so this will be a nice chance to get that missing parts, except for material study, because with that one we already used for Minmus. Yes, clearly we are coming down over the deserts. Alright, and chutes deployed. Whew! Much more smooth landing now, and using a little bit of engine to get just below around 5, and now we have science to do. So magnetometer scan. The magnetometer records accurate reading of Kerbal surface magnetic field. Mystery goo. The goo seems to hate it here. Well, yeah, it doesn't like hot stuff. Seismic. I don't think I will be reading that one. Sorry. And X-ray diffraction scan. Let's see what that one says. Kerman's desert sands are composed almost of entirely fine grain, etc., etc. Okay, well, we are coming up on the end of the episode, so let us recover the vessel, see how much science we got. Wow, 1021, and Juno has won a lot of ribbons, so congratulations, Juno, including the first landing on Minmus. So, I hope you liked the episode. If you like the episode, please do like the episode and hit that subscribe button for more content. And don't forget the sweepstakes by the episode 15.